Film begins with Sebastian, and who is a scientist that invented a medicine, through which he could vanish any organism including human beings and animals. But on the other hand, he failed to invent a medicine which can turn back the things he already vanished. He struggles hard on it, and finally his effort bears fruit. It means he was successful in inventing a medicine that could resurrect the disappeared things. In reality, he had disappeared so many animals, but now he wanted them back. He shares this with another co-worker scientist and invites him to laboratory. There was a gorilla which was already invisible. They catch him, and afterwards, his feet and hands are fastened to the bed. They inject Sebastian's medicine to reverse the invisible gorilla. He faces so much trouble due to increased heart rate. Witnessing his condition, it seemed that gorilla will not survive. After shocking his heart, it begins to be normal. Slowly his whole body was recovering. And the gorilla completely takes over its body. Everyone gets excited. Here it is revealed that all experiments were being conducted for military. While doing meeting with military, Sebastian lies that he still has not gained any success. And he asks for more time. Military declares that you have already taken much time. We will recruit another at your place if you show no improvement. Coming outside, Sebastian's friends named Linda and Matthew ask him, "Why did you lie in the meeting?" He says, "It is because I want to test this medicine on human being." He arranges a meeting with his other co-workers and tells a lie, that military has permitted us to test this medicine on human. And he says, "I want to test it on my own body." Linda and Matthew also support him in this matter. They inject Sebastian's body, and as a result, he feels pain. After getting invisible, he also loses his consciousness. After 17 hours he comes back and becomes conscious. He asks to switch off the light because it was hearing him. Sebastian was invisible completely. His body is tested, and it is clear that there is no problem with his body. On the other hand, all girls in the area were uneasy and restless, because they were sensing Sebastian's presence in their surroundings. 3 days have passed. Now it was the time to turn Sebastian into normal human. They inject him that medicine, and while giving him so much pain, he still cannot turn himself visible. Finding no way, they mask Sebastian so he may be visible. Sebastian gets angry and argues with Matthew while shouting at him. He says, "You have pained me enough within 10 days after burning me in the light. I am only one to endure this pain." Sebastian can't be normal, and that frustrates him as well. Being invisible, he was restless, so yearned to leave from here. One day, Sebastian leaves the laboratory and goes to his house. While observing his neighbor girl, Sebastian unmasks himself and goes to that girl house. She opens the door but can't see him. Meanwhile, he enters the house. Linda catches Sebastian's mask in his house. Witnessing it, she is frightened and returns to the laboratory. She holds a meeting with co-workers and says Sebastian is not risk-free for us because he was wandering without mask in state of invisibility, and at the same time, Sebastian approaches there. Linda threatens that if he does it again, she will file a complaint with the military. Then Sebastian agrees with Linda. But there was still a fear in their hearts because Sebastian was weird psychologically. They decide to keep an eye on him. Sebastian was aware that he is being watched, so he plays previous recordings in camera. So others will think he is still in the laboratory. Doing so, he goes out of the laboratory, and he directly moves to Linda's house. Going there, he comes to know about the affair between Linda and Matthew. He loses his temper because he had affectionate feelings for Linda and breaks her window. Looking outside, Linda finds no one. She suspects that he may be Sebastian. She calls to the laboratory to ensure it. And an active worker in the laboratory informs Linda, Sebastian is here, due to fake recording in camera. After returning back to lab, Sebastian kills a dog in anger. After finding dead dog, they ask Sebastian about it, but he denies. They check all the video recordings, but still find nothing. Sebastian again visits Linda's house at night. And Linda feels the presence of Sebastian. At this time, she herself goes to laboratory for investigation. Then she knows that Sebastian has tried to defy them. She decides to tell her senior doctor about it. Linda and Matthew reveal everything to him. Being furious, that doctor excludes Linda and Matthew from this project. That doctor was going to reveal it to his other co-workers, but phone had become unresponsive. Meanwhile, Sebastian reaches there and kills the senior doctor while drowning him. Next morning, Sebastian again comes to the laboratory. Linda and Matthew were waiting for the call of that senior doctor. After waiting a while, Linda calls Dr. Deneau, but she comes to know that doctor is dead. Then Linda decides to open the fact of this project to everyone. She tries to call someone, but his phone doesn't work. Sebastian had changed the codes of lift so that no one can go outside. They decide to seize Sebastian at any cost because he was still in that laboratory. Sebastian kills one of the girls among them. They know he will kill them all. They detect Sebastian's location through a device placed in the laboratory. 2 people move there to catch him. One of them is Matthew, another is his friend. Sebastian injures Matthew's friend there. Matthew also fires his gun on Sebastian, but he gets no harm. Matthew's friend's blood was wasted, so the blood is required for him. Then Linda's friend goes to arrange blood, and Sebastian also approaches there. He kills her, and at the same time, Matthew's friend also meets his fate. Now there were only 3 survivors. Moreover, 3rd survivor besides Linda and Matthew is also killed with an iron rod by Sebastian. He also injures Matthew when he exerts to save his friend. He leaves Linda and Matthew in freezer cold room. Freezer's temperature was going down while Linda tries to crack the door courageously, but of no avail. Being injured, Matthew is unconscious. Now Sebastian comes on the scene and makes a bomb, using chemicals. He leaves after setting it up. On the other hand, Linda was also struggling to break the door. Finally the door was unlocked. She brings Matthew out and in flames near him because his body had frozen. Now Linda moves to that place where Sebastian is present. Sebastian was in the elevator. Linda approaches there when elevator's door is about to close. Linda has a fire thrower, so she uses it to burn Sebastian. Sebastian was wrapped in flames, and his body was also burning gradually. Being aggressive and wounded, Sebastian wanted to take revenge from Linda. Then Linda turns on the extinguisher. As a result, water starts falling from there. Now Sebastian was little visible, and he begins to end Linda pathetically. Keeping his foot on her neck, he tries to choke her. Matthew arrives while holding an iron rod, and hits Sebastian's head. Consequently, Sebastian falls down there. Matthew lifts Linda up and both begin to leave from there. Sebastian, who was still alive, picks up that rod, attacks Matthew. He saves himself after pushing Sebastian. The rod makes contact with an electric cable, causing an electric shock to be transmitted to Sebastian's body. As a result, Sebastian is knocked out there. Matthew and Linda cannot stop the explosion of this bomb, so they climb the ladder which is with the elevator. The bomb is exploded as they are climbing. Sebastian holds the foot of Linda from downward, but Matthew advances to rescue Linda. Sebastian comes into the elevator with Linda before Matthew approaches. Standing in the elevator, Linda holds a settled cable in the elevator. Linda presses a button, causing elevator to go down with Sebastian. He burns to death, and Linda begins to move towards Matthew cautiously. Approaching to Matthew, both are survived and excited. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.